Good day, ma'am. My name is Ralph Kinnit Anakop, base Scream to Block 10 from the Best Friends of Noli, Bohol. This is my report about in Chapter 8. Noli Tangere published in Berlin in 1887. This is my visual age. Anong medyo di kayo ni maklaro siya kay gagmay pero mas maklaro kung mutanaw mo sa gihatag ni ma'am nga topic dito sa Google Classroom about aning chapter 8 na dito makita. So agdire naghimo lang og visual aids para ako ma-explain ug unsay akong kanang i-report karon nga adlaw. So Blake Winter was memorable because it was painful episode, hungry, sick, and despondent in a strange city. It brought him great joy after during much suffering because his first novel came of press in March 1887. Dr. Maximino Viola loaned him needed funds published the novel. Again si Dr. Maximino Viola niloan siya kanang dako nga kuan po kinahanglunon sa pag-publish ani nga novel. Idea of writing a novel on the Philippines. Iyang idea sa pagsuwat ani nga novel diri sa Pilipinas. Beecher's Toes, Uncle Tom's Cabins, inspiration of Rizal in creating a novel. Kini si Beecher's Toes, Uncle Tom's Cabins mo ni siya naghatag og inspiration ni Rizal nga muhimo ani nga kanang novel. Depict miseries of people under the last of Spanish tyrants. In January 2, 1884, presented the novels of the group of Filipinos and unanimously approved by those present. So, kanang sa pag January 2 kuno 1884 is girepresenta ang novel sa kanang unanimously nga grupo sa Pilipino din kini si gi-approve ni nga those approved by those present is kini silang kuan 7 sila ka buok nga nag approve by those present. Si Paternos Pedro Maximo and Antonio, si Graciano Lopez Zena og Evaristo Aquere og Ivardo Delete og si Julio Llorente, Melicio Figueroa og si Valentin Ventura. Mara sila 7 ka tawo nga unanimously approved by those present. So the writing of Noli Tangere started in Madrid and finished half of it. Dito ko nag-start pagsuot ani nga novel dito ko sa gitawag nga lugar nga Madrid. Paris in 1885 finished half of the second half. Finish the last fourth in Germany. So ang kinapanglasan nga ikaapat the last fourth nga kuan ani is gihuman kuno didto sa Germany. In Berlin winter days February 1886 made final revisions. So in January 1886 nahimo na gyud ang final revision ani. He told Fernando Cannon about the discouragement in publishing Noli Tangere. He told Fernando, giingnan kaya si Fernando Caron about this discouragement in publishing the Noli Tangere. Ang discourage kini nga tao para ma-publish gining novel. Printing of Noli Tangere finished in March 27, 18 1887. Ang pagprinta po dani ko ng Noli me Tangere is nahuman ni siya sa March 27, 1887. So, Noli me Tangere came of the sent first copies to his immediate friends. So, iya ko nung gisindan ang first copy ani sa mga iyang immediate friends. Si Blumentritt o si Dr. Antonio Maria Regidor ug si Graciano Lopez Zena ug si Mariano Ponce ug si Felix R. Hidalgo. Then on March 29, 1887, talking of appreciation, he gave Viola to Gallifreys of the Noli carefully rolled around. Then the title of Noli me Tangere, the title of novel Noli me Tangere, Latin phrase which means touch me not. So ang pasabot di ani nga ang pasabot sa English aning Latin Noli me Tangere is kanang kay Noli me Tangere kay sa Latin words man siya no. So ang pasabot ani niya ko sa English is touch me not, makunay pasabot ana. Pero wala po gi-concept nga ang originality si Rizal may naghimo ani kay ni admit si Rizal nga taking it from the Bible. So gikan din ni kinuha na niya gikan sa Bible. So dito ra tama nagawang effort no. Ilan kayong salamat ug sa mga kabadis.
Good day everyone, especially to you ma'am. I am Regent Curtis Sesani, B Scripto Block 10, and this is the continuation of our report. Tasio the philosopher, the wise old man whose ideas were to advance for his times, so that the people who could not understand him called him Tasio the lunatic. Progressive school teacher complained to Ibarra that the children were losing interest in their studies because of lack of proper schoolhouse, discouraging attitude of the Spanish friar towards both the teaching of Spanish and of the use of modern methods of pedagogy. Spineless Gobernador Silio, who catered to the wishes of the Spanish friar. Don Filipolino, the Teniente Mayor and leader of the liberal faction in the town. Don Melchor, the captain of the Cuadrilleros, former Gobernador Silio's, who are prominent citizens, Don Basilio and Don Valentin. Tale of Sisa, most tragic story. Lost her two boys, Basilio and Crispin. They were sacristans in the church. Crispin was accused, the brutal sacristan mayor, of stealing the money of the priest. He was tortured in the convent and died. Elias, one of the boatmen, was a strong and silent peasant youth. Ibarra saved the life of Elias. Maria Clara rendered a beautiful song while playing the harp. Ibarra and Capitan Tiago played chess. Maria Clara and her friends played the wheel of chance. Padre Salve came to tear into pieces the book, seeing it's a sin to play such game. 4 soldiers of Guardia Civil came and looking for Elias, who was hunted for, assaulting Padre Damaso, throwing the alferez lieutenant of Guardia Civil into a mud hole. Ibarra visited old Tasio to consult on his pet project about the schoolhouse. And that's all, thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Angeli M. Saragosa, BS Cream 2 Black 10. I am here to continue the Risanis report. Continuation. Tashi's writing is in hieroglyphics. Why is it in hieroglyphics? Because he was writing for the future generation who would understand and say, not all were asleep at the nights of our ancestors. Next, fiesta in honor of its patron saint San Diego de Alcala is on November 11. Laughter, music, exploding bombs, festing, and moro-moro. Music furnished by 5 brass bands, including the famous Pagsanhan Band, owned by the Escribano Miguel Guevara, and 3 orchestras. Ibarra's attack to Padre Damaso produces 2 results. First, engagement to Maria Clara was broken because Padre Damaso was the real father of Maria Clara. Next, he was excommunicated. Tiburcio de Espadaña is a quack Spanish physician. And here's our comedy. The fight between the 2 ludicrous señoras. Doña Consolacion, the vulgar mistress of Spanish alferez, and Doña Victorina, the flamboyantly dressed wife of handpicked Spanish quack doctor, which is Tiburcio de Espadaña. The story of Elias was a tale of pathos and tragedy. Why is it a tale of pathos and tragedy? It is because of these reasons. 60 years ago, accusation to his grandfather for burning the warehouse. Grandmother became prostitute to support her sick husband and their son. Balat, first boy, became a tulisan. Balat's younger brother became a laborer, fell in love to his master's daughter. Elias' father was sent to jail. Elias was educated in the Jesuit College in Manila and his sister in La Concordia College. Pia Alba is the late mother of Maria Clara, and Padre Damaso was Maria Clara's real father, which I have said earlier. Elias looked down toward the east and murmured, I die without seeing the dawn brighten over my native land. You who have it to see, welcome it, and forget not those who have fallen during the night. So here's our epilogue. Maria Clara entered the nunnery. Padre Salve left the parish of San Diego and became a chaplain of the nunnery. Padre Damaso was transferred to a remote province. Next morning, he was found dead in his bedroom. Capitan Tiago became an opium addict and human wreck. Doña Victorina had taken to wearing eyeglasses because of weakening eyesight. Linares died of dysentery and buried in Paco Cemetery. Alvarez was promoted major. So this is Noli based on truth. Maria Clara was Leonor Rivera, which is engaged to Jose Rizal. Ibarra and Elias represented Rizal. Tasio the philosopher was his elder brother Pasiano. Padre Salve was Padre Antonio Piernavieja. Capitan Tiago was Capitan Hilario Sonico of San Nicolas. Doña Victorina was Doña Agustina Medel. Basilio and Crispin was Crisostomo brothers of Hagonoy. Padre Damaso was typical of a domineering friar during the days of Rizal. So that would be all. Thank you. I hope you learned something from my report.
Good day everyone, especially to you ma'am. I am Angelique Grace Ramos, based from Black 10. Today I'm going to report the topic Noli Tangere, published in Berlin 1887, Idea of Writing a Novel on the Philippines. Rizal was inspired by the book named Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe. The story portrays the brutalities of American slave owners, the pathetic conditions of the unfortunate Negro slaves. On January 2, 1884, proposed the writing of a novel about the Philippines by a group of Filipino, namely Paterno brothers Pedro Maximo, Antonio, Graciano Lopez Haina, Evaristo Tangere, Eduardo Deleti, Julio Laurentine, Milecio Figueroa, and Valentin Bintora. His proposal was anonymously approved. Unfortunately, Rizal's project did not materialize. Those compatriots who were expected to collaborate on the novel did not write anything. However, almost everybody wanted to write. On a woman, Rizal was disgusted at chess as flippancy. He was more disgusted to see that his companions, instead of working seriously on the novel, wasted their time gambling for flirting with Spanish senoritas. He was determined to write the novel alone. The writing of the novel Noli toward the end of 1884. Rizal began writing the novel in Madrid and finished about one half of it. When he went to Paris in 1885, after completing his studies at the Central University of Madrid, he continued writing the novel in Germany. He wrote the last few chapters of the Noli in Wilhelmsfeld in April to June 1886. Viola, savior of the Noli. Maximo Viola arrived in Berlin a day before Christmas Day of 1887. He was shocked when he found Rizal living in poverty and deplorably sick due to lack of nourishment. Seeing his friend's struggle and poor condition, he gladly lent him a hand. He loaned him some cash for living expenses and as well as funding the printing cost of his novel. After Christmas season, Rizal put his finishing touches on his novel. To save printing expenses, he deleted certain passages and chapter of Elias and Salome. On February 21, 1887, the novel was finally finished and ready for printing. They managed to find cheap printing shop, Berliner Druckerei Action Gisel's shop, charging them with only 300 pesos for 2,000 copies of the novel. Rizal suspected as French spy. They managed to in all days of travel, it was possible to travel from another country without having a passport. This led the German police to suspect as a French spy because Rizal doesn't have any passport to show. However, Viola quickly accompanied Rizal to Spanish embassy to seek help from the Spanish ambassador. But the ambassador failed to keep his promise due to that he had no power to issue the proposal. Being fluent in German language, he explained to the police chief that he was not a French spy, but was a Filipino physician and scientist. The chief was impressed by his explanation and fascinated by his mastery of the German language and personal charisma, so that the police chief allowed him to stay freely in Germany. Printing of the Noli finished on March 21, 1887. The Noli Tangere came from the phrase immediately Rizal sent the first copies to his close friends, Blumentritt, Dr. Antonio Marianidor, Luciano Lobisaina, Mariano Ponce, and Felix Hidalgo. On March 29, 1887, Rizal gave Viola the galley proofs of the Noli carefully rolled around the pen that he used in writing the novel and a complimentary copy. And that would be all. Thank you.
To each and everyone, especially in our GE9 instructor, Miss Paula G. Dumao. Good day to you, ma'am. By the way, I am John Francisco Bica Orion, BS Cream 2, Block number 10. Currently living in Hilaganlaya, Trinidad, Bohol. Son of Filipino businessman, Don Rafael Ibarra, he studied in Europe for 7 years, on Escuela siya sa Europe for 7 years. Ibarra is also Maria Clara's fiancé. So, several sources claim that Ibarra is also Rizal Reflections. Both studied in Europe and both persons believed in the same idea. So, pareho one believes sa ilang mga ideas. Upon his return, Ibarra requests to the local government of San Diego to construct a public school. So, nai-request si Ibarra to promote education in the town. Maria Clara is a Ibarra fiancé. So, he was raised by Captain Tiago San Diego, Cabeza de Barangay, and is the most beautiful and widely celebrated girl in San Diego. In the later part of the novel, Maria Clara's identity was revealed as an illegitimate daughter of Father Damaso. So, former Paris, curate of the town, and Doña Pia Alba, wife of Capitan Tiago. In the end, she entered the local convent of nuns, the Ateneo de Santa Clara. In the epilogue, dealing with the state of the characters, Rizal stated that it is unknown if Maria Clara is still living within the walls of the convent or she is already dead. Padre Damaso. A fact, he is the best as a notorious character who speaks with harsh words and has been a cruel priest during the stay in the town. He is revealed to be the real father of Maria Clara and the enemy of Crisostomo's father, Rafael Ibarra. Later, he and Maria Clara had a bitter arguments whether the world marry Alfonso Linares or go to a convent. At the end, he is again resigned to a distant town and is found dead one day. Padre Sibilia, a young Dominican priest of Binondo Dominican prayer. He is described as short and has a fair skin. He is instructed by an old priest in order to watch Crisostomo Ibarra, Senior Guevara, as an elderly kind lieutenant of the Guardia Civil, close friend of Don Rafael Ibarra. He reveals to Crisostomo how Don Rafael Ibarra's death came out. Don Cabello de Espadana, a bogus Spanish physician, layman and fake husband of Doña Victorina and several ladies. Elias is Ibarra mysterious friends on Ali. So si Elias mo ni mga mysterious friends ni Ibarra. Elias made his first appearance as a pilot during a picnic of Ibarra's and Maria Clara and her friends. He wants to revolutionize the country and to be freed from Spanish oppression. Sisa is the mother of two young boys and who disappeared, with her mother love, her grief, and her frustration. She is thought to represent the suffering motherland. Crispin, brother of Basilio, dies at the hand of Sacristan Mayor and Padre Salvi. Basilio, brother of Crispin and sons of Sisa and Padre last to see Elias alive. So mao siya nakakita nga sa last nga nakakita ni Elias nga buhay pa. So Doña Consolacion is the muse of the cartel. She is a violent wife of the alferez and has treated Sisa cruelly. Alfonso Linares is the godson of Padre Damaso and a distant cousin of Don Tiburcio.
Good day, ma'am. My name is Jeffrey Milianis Roloma, Biscrim to Block 10. For today's video, I'm going to report and discuss the assigned topic in Chapter 8. This is the last chapter in Chapter 8. Okay, let's proceed. He is hard-pressed to be Maria Clara's fiancé instead of Ibarra. The Noli based on the truth, the facts that I narrate there are all true and have happened. I can prove them, said Rizal. Si Rizal yaingon nga, sa iyang generate sa Noli mi Tangere, kay tinuod og hitabo pod in his real life story. This is the character of Noli mi Tangere and the real life person. Maria Clara, Leonor Rivera, Ibarra and Elias represented Rizal himself. Tasio, the philosopher, as his brother Pasiano. Padre Salvi, Padre Antonio Pernavija, Captain Tiago, Captain Hilario Sunico of San Nicolas, Doña Victorina, Doña Agustuna Midel, Basilio and Crispin, Crisostomo brothers of Hagone. Padre Damaso was typical of a domineering friar during the days of Rizal, who was arrogant, immoral, and anti-Filipino. Kini si Father Damaso mo na siyang silbing kontrabida sa Noli mi Tangere. The missing chapter of the Noli in the original manuscript of Noli mi Tangere, there was a chapter entitled Elias and Salome. Kining Elias and Salome mo ni missing chapter sa Noli Tangere. Mo ni yang gi-delete ni Rizal. Which follows chapter 24 in the woods. This particular chapter on Elias and Salome was deleted by Rizal. No, mo na gi-delete ko ng Rizal. So that it was not included in the printed novel. His reason for doing so was definitely economic. Gidelete to ni Rizal kining Elias and Salome kay sa panahong ipaprinta na ni Rizal ang Noli Tangere na wa siya budget o kuwang iyang budget para maiprint o tanan mo nang nakunahuna siya nga i-delete or what na lang ang chapter nga tawag og Elias and Salome. The summary of the story Elias and Salome. Salome is a modest young lady wearing worn-out clothes that are nonetheless clean and decent. Her garments are covered with patches which she most likely stitched herself, and the only accessories she has on her are a comb made from turtle shell on her hair and a black rosary around her neck. Ug i-describe nato ni si Salome, kini si Salome, simple ra nga bayi, pero ug imong tutukan gwapa ng siya kay permente ni siya magsuot og kanang rosaryo, black rosary. Salome waits desperately for Elias, thinking that he would pass by the water anytime soon. Elias, however, is nowhere to be seen because he is in fact hiding from the authorities who currently patrolling the lake. Si Salome naghuwat ni Elias sa lake man. Wala man ni si Elias na hingdong dito kay gipangita ni siya sa mga gwardiya sibil. When the two finally get to
go.
Salome tells the youth of her plan to move to Mindoro and live with her relatives and requests that he go with her. Ang si Salome, gingnan niya si Elias nga kaplano siya nga muadto sa Mindoro, mamuyo adto sa iyang mga gagaw. And jagi paubanon niya si Elias. Elias, however, refused her offer because he does not want her to be entangled with the tragedies and troubles of his past. Si Elias ni refuse siyang offer nga di siya muban kay vaccine maapil si Salome sa mga tragedies and troubles of his past. He tells the lady that she must marry an honorable and respectable man, one whom she truly deserves and who can make her happy. And tingnan niya si Salome nga magpakasal sa honorable and respectable nga tao nga deserve para niya nga mahimo siya mamalitayon siya. Rizal's friends praised the Noli. The friends of Rizal held the novel, praising it in a glowing colors. As expected, Rizal's enemies condemned it. Rizal anticipated the vitriolic attacks of his enemies, whom were sure to be told the truth of their rebellions. As he bloomed trade, the government and the friars will probably attack the work, refuting my statements, but I trust in God of truth and in the persons who have actually seen our sufferings, of the numerous congratulatory letters received by Rizal from his friends about the Noli Tangere. That from Blumentritt was significant. First of all, wrote Blumentritt, accept my cordial congratulations for your beautiful novel about custom which interests me extraordinarily. Your works, as we Germans say, has been written with blood of the heart, and so the heart also speaks. I continue reading it with much interest. I shall beg to ask you now and then for an explanation when I find words unknown to me. For instance, the word filibuster must have certain meaning in the Philippines that I do not find in the Spanish of the Peninsular, nor in that of the Spanish peoples of America, Blumentritt know that Rizal is a man of extraordinary talent, and this is a happy to have been honored with Rizal's friendship in London. Dr. Antonio Marigidor, Filipino patriot and lawyer who had been exiled due to his complicity in Cavite Mutiny of 1872, read avidly the Noli and was very much impressed by its author. On May 3, 1887, he facilitated Rizal saying, if the Quixote immortalized its author because it exposes to the world elements of Spain, your Noli Me Tangere will bring you unequal glory. With your modesty and your voracious and able appraisal, you have dealt a mortal blow to the old free fall of blemishes and decay. Every Filipino patriot will read your book with avidity, and upon discovering in every line a veracious idea and every word a fitting advice, he will be inspired and he will regard your book as the masterpiece of the Filipino and the proof that those who thought us incapable of producing great intellects are mistaken or lying. And that's all. Thank you.